like Moses, God asked him, what do you have in your hands? So then we also ask people if they get sick. We ask them, what do you have there in your fridge? What do you have there just right at home? What do you have there just around your home? So those are the basic things that we ask them. What are those things that are available? If the one that is available is just water, make use of the water. If it is just spinach that you have there, make use of the spinach. So just be creative. So we will show here some creativity in food planning and food preparation as well. Okay, it's not working again. So probably. Okay, all right. So meal planning and food preparation are central to health and longevity. To note that many people during most of the days of the week most often eat out for convenience. So in our first presentation last Friday, we said that people are tempted to just go eat out because they say that we are too busy to prepare our own food. But then we could see here that it's just easy to prepare, basically. So for convenience, people would just have to eat out. But it's not good for the budget and it's not good for health, right? And the setbacks of this trend can go farther beyond faulty eating. There has been an alarming increase of chronic lifestyle diseases across the countries, cultures, and populations around the globe. So it's not just here in America, but it is around the globe. Even in the Philippines, I thought that I would go back to the Philippines after 15 years of staying here in the US. I would go back there and go back to simple living. But to note that young people these days don't even know how to prepare their own food. So they just go to the fast foods. Even birthdays, they celebrate their birthdays in fast foods. In McDonald's, they just make an arrangement with the management, and then they celebrate there. So there are just a lot of people these days who are just tempted to do their food, their meals, and all of those activities related to eating in the fast foods. And such major culprit is traced back to eating foods on the go. So one primary action is to get individuals and families prepared. Your key there is simple meals that they themselves have prepared at home rather than partaking foods on the go. So let's look at some of the basic concepts, all right, in meal planning. First is the concept of adequacy. The concept of adequacy. The foods you choose to eat provide all the essential nutrients, fiber, and energy in amounts sufficient to support growth and maintain health. So adequacy may vary from one person to another. What is enough for me, what is sufficient for you, will not be the same, right? So that we have different needs. If I would be doing a lot of exercises, a lot of manual labor, so it means that I would have to eat more. right? So the concept of input and output. So the input should equal to my output. So my output would be my exercises, my activities, and then my input should be more or less equal to my output. Which means that those that you put in should be usable energy that would support your activities. And those would be, you are not eating just for energy, but you are eating for your general well-being. And also you have to have balance in our meal planning and food preparation. When the amount of energy you eat equals the amount of energy you expend in daily activities and exercise. So this is what I mentioned earlier as the input and output. So identify your activities and then look into how many kilocaloric energy will you be spending, and that would also be approximating your kilocaloric intake. Now, others may not be able to imagine how to calculate kilocalories, but we will be showing you those that are really practical, that even without calculating them, you would know, all right? And then, yes, in relation to that would be your caloric control. Choosing a diet that balances the calories you eat with the amount of calories your body uses. Now, in terms of calculating, people may not want to be calculating. They don't want numbers, especially those complicated numbers. So I'm not here to teach you statistics or whatever that will require you calculations. But what we would like to see here is that if you choose your food, those foods should not be high caloric. It means that the fruits, the vegetables that you eat are not high caloric, but they are filled with the nutrients that the body would need, the vitamins, the minerals. And then in relation to this, I mentioned about the nutrients. So the food that you have to choose for yourself should be nutrient dense. So the amount of vitamins and minerals relative to the calories of the food that the food would provide should be chosen very well. And of course, moderation is important. They may be healthful foods, but yet, if you don't set some limits, the Lord wants us to exercise our choice of eating, yes, but we also have to exercise our control. And it is our own choice as well. And variety. Now, this is a major key to proper health. Variety. You are not just going to choose tomatoes, but you can try others, whichever is available. Now, let's look into the whole foods, plant-based diet. A few principles here. We have to emphasize whole, minimally processed foods. Whole foods would be important. Now, whole foods in the sense that they are just as they are in nature. So we get them from nature as they are. So we don't alter these foods if possible. If you need to process them, the processing would just include the slicing or maybe heating it up a little bit. But as I mentioned yesterday, that vitamin C and the B vitamins are heat sensitive, that even the slightest heat will destroy those vitamins. So if you are after the healing properties of the food, don't heat them up, okay? Because the healing properties primarily includes vitamin C, the B vitamins, and other antioxidant vitamins, and then some minerals that I mentioned, like zinc, copper, and some other trace elements. And if you do whole foods plant-based diet, you have to limit or avoid animal products. Now you may say, we are eating vegetables, we are eating fruits, but then that nullifies their healthful properties if you integrate some animal products. Okay? It's just like going into the middle ground, wherein you would say, okay, this is healthy, but I'm going to put something else. For example, with salads, we prepare them as they are, whole foods, but yet the dressing is not healthy because it has a lot of fats, it has a lot of sugars, and it has a lot of, what else, sodium. They are not healthy. And that one that you put on top of it, or the one that you integrate, would make it unhealthy. Okay? So you are nullifying the healthful food with something that you add even in a smaller amount. So it focuses on plants, including vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, seeds, and nuts, which should make up the majority of what you eat. Okay? And it excludes refined foods like added sugars, white flour, and processed oils. And it pays attention to the food quality, with many proponents of the whole foods plant-based diet promoting locally sourced organic food wherever possible, whenever possible. So you see, again, make use of those that are available locally, if possible. Why locally? Because most often, if we get them from from the imported ones, imported fruits from Thailand, imported fruits from, maybe, I don't know if there are some imports from the Philippines as well. But you know, most often they put some preservatives there if they import. So for example, with apples coming from outside the country, they put some wax, all right? Tomatoes, they put wax as well. Wax may be good for some other uses, but not for food. They are not meant to be consumed by humans. Others put some other preservatives that are known to be carcinogens. They cause cancer. Okay? So I could discuss a lot of these chemicals that they put, and I could identify easily at least 20 that they are going to spray or just soak on these foods or fruits, vegetables. They just put it there. But we may not have time to discuss all those, but just be very careful with those that are imported, because many of them have those chemicals in order to preserve their freshness. Okay? All right, now let us look into this. This is the raw food pyramid. Now look at the base of it. What do you see there?
Water.
Water, yes, water. Now, in other food pyramids, they don't include water, which means that water is the foundation of proper nutrition. You see, if you drink water at the very start of the day when you wake up in the morning, you are conditioning your digestive system to receive the food. Because without proper hydration, there is inefficiency of digestion, inefficiency of absorption, and inefficiency of assimilation. Now, what is digestion? Of course, you know. The physical digestion of the food as you chew it and as the stomach churns the food. And the chemical or enzymatic digestion wherein these chemical bonds are broken so as to make them in their simple forms. And then from their simple forms, they are absorbed into the bloodstream from the gut, okay? Particularly from the small intestines to the bloodstream. Some of them, some fats, will go direct into the lymphatic system, so they are absorbed there. And then from there, from the bloodstream, they are distributed to all parts of the body. Thus, the cells will be the final destiny of those nutrients, including water, oxygen also included, and the nutrients coming from the food. Now, there may be no problem with digestion and absorption, but many individuals these days have problems with the assimilation. What is that? The movement or the uptake of the nutrients from the blood to the cells as they cross the cell membrane. You see, if you get the food from those that are processed, they may be absorbed, yes. They may get into the bloodstream, but the cells could hardly recognize them, okay? So the assimilation is a problem, meaning the uptake of the nutrients into the cell would be a problem, okay? But for foods, whole foods, if they are digested there and then they are absorbed, they can easily be assimilated or uptaken by the cells. Like the vitamin C, as I mentioned, the assimilation is about 97% as compared to the ascorbic acid. They call it vitamin C from pill form. The absorption is just as low as 7%. Okay? So that it requires you to have high dosage of vitamin C from tablet form. So then, here water is basic because it assists in all the processes, digestion, in the absorption and assimilation of the food. But then, as I said, it is important that you have to hydrate yourself first before eating anything, okay? Because if you drink water while you are eating, that would cause indigestion. Why? Because it dilutes those enzymes that are necessary to digest the food, and it will not cause it to be properly digested. So when do you drink water? Drink water prior to eating, at least 30 minutes before. And at the time when you wake up in the morning, as I said, drink at least 3 glasses of water, right? And so this shows you here. Next would be the greens and the other colors, the fruits, the vegetables, and then you have the herbs, those spices, and you may use some oils there, but in smaller amounts. The bigger chunk of the food should be the greens.
I see sunflowers. Do people eat sunflowers?
Oh, which one?
The sunflowers.
Oh, the sunflowers, yes.
Including that's the nuts.
Yes, the seeds. The seeds. It's the seeds.
Sunflower seeds, okay.
Sunflower seeds. Thank you for clarifying that. Yes. Okay, now this is another one. It's basically the same, but I just would like you to see here that the very foundation again is water, and the greens, and then the other colors. Okay, and then you have the sprouts, the seeds there, and then some herbs, and then just a few of these seaweeds and some others. So this is another way to show here about the vegan diet, food pyramid. And then this one shows you there is no water there, but just for you to see that among the foods, you have to have the greens as your base, okay? And then the other colors. All right, now, this is one thing that I would like you to consider in your food preparation. Don't put this in your grocery list again, if possible. If you already have these, then you just finish them up, or some others may close their eyes and throw them away. Refined sugars, including products with refined sugars such as soda, cakes, chocolates, candies. Refined oils and trans fats, meat, cheese, dairy products, and others. So, frozen foods, just to qualify. Those frozen delights like ice cream, and then those ice cream cakes, and some others. But those frozen vegetables and fruits, if you don't have fresh ones, then that will be the next item that you can to replace the fresh vegetables and fruits. All right, now let's look at here a basic plan. So you may have pre-breakfast, some others may require pre-breakfast, but just water would do. Now, I put here pre-breakfast because we have observed that there are some of the individuals that may require some fluids to take in after they drink water, especially those who have chronic illnesses. Okay, those who have chronic illnesses, we will require them to have a special type of pre-breakfast. So it depends on the person, and it depends on the condition and the health goal of the individual. And then basically the fruits, the fruits, nuts, tubers, and grains should be in your breakfast. Again, your breakfast, if you have the fruits there, eat first the fruits. And then after which you eat the grains and the tubers, and last would be the nuts. Okay? Last would be the nuts. And then the lunch would include vegetables, the seeds, and neutral fruits. Neutral fruits could combine both with the fruit salads, for example, or with the vegetable salads. For example, apples. Apples are considered neutral fruits because they can combine with vegetables. They can also combine with the fruits, as long as the vegetables are not cooked. Okay? And then we have dinner, the legumes and some vegetables is still for dinner. So here, for dinner, since you have legumes there, the seeds, then you need to cook. And then the vegetables that you may integrate there may be salads, or if you need to integrate them with, for example, lentil stew, be sure that the vegetables are just going to be put there as soon as you cook the stew. And we will demonstrate it with you. So again, the vegetables, if possible, should not be cooked. Okay, now this one is something like a presentation of a plate, just for you to figure out what you could do for your meals. So So you could see there on the right side the fruits and the seeds and nuts. So that would be for your breakfast. Okay? And you may also add for your breakfast the grains, the one on the left. So you can see here the proportions. So you have the fruits, the seeds and nuts, and you can put the grains there. Now you can play with proportions. It depends on your health goal. Now if you are trying to lose weight, your grains would be much less, and then increase the fruits. And then you may get a handful or two of the seeds and nuts for your breakfast. Now if you are trying to gain weight, okay, include much more for the grains, and then you have the fruits still as maybe 1 or 2 servings, and then a handful of the seeds. Again, if you are trying to lose weight, it's better for you to include less of the grains and more of the fruits. Okay? Now for your dinner, for your lunch, then you include the vegetables. And again, your base would be the greens. And then the dinner would be your beans, the lentils, and then include some vegetables. Now, salads, the best way to go. While salad vegetables are mostly thought of as being for sides, salads are not for sides. Okay? They are the major part of your meal. Okay? They must be considered to get the most abundant amount that any course to take for the center as the center of your plate. Okay? Salads. Don't choose salads just for sides. Now, this one shows you here. Just this is a plan that we have for a client. Okay? So the pre-breakfast, for example, just for you to have an idea. Ginger, cinnamon, lemon tea, breakfast, a fruit salad, and then lunch would be vegetable salad, quinoa, and so on, all right? And the dinner would be the lentils too, or you may have buko almond milk. So this gives you an idea of what to prepare. And that also, this also may be modified according to the need and the health goal of the person. Okay, this is another one. So you may have your breakfast as avocado berries, fruit salad, and almond cashew nuts. And then pre-lunch, this one is for a diabetic client that we prepared. And then we have a pre-lunch vegan oatmeal cookie and so on. Now, again, it depends on your condition. Okay, because for a diabetic one, they say that it's important for them to have small but more frequent meals. But we found out that for diabetics, it's even better if you have 2 meals a day. For us, we maintain the 2 meals a day if we are at home. It's just 2 meals per day. And it gives us energy so that the body is able to make use of the food that we eat much more efficiently. All right, so this is just a brief description of the pre-breakfast and some alternates there. And then the breakfast, what you put there, and then you have lunch and some alternates there, and the dinner. Okay? So this gives you an idea of how snack options, some others may need to have snacks, especially while they are transitioning, okay? Because they say that we feel hungry after eating. Yeah. But then the ideal one is for them to have only just a few meals a day, because we would like to have the individual's goal is to get to a 2 meal per day plan, such that it would give about 4 to 6 hours of the digestive rest before the next meal.
How long do you soak the cashew nuts on that dip?
All right, carrot sticks and vegan cashew dip. How
Do
long?
you soak them overnight or just an hour? or
For
so?
cashew, you don't need to soak it overnight, because the imbibition of water is just very short. So it can be up to about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
And in most cases, cashew nuts are already pre-cooked before they are sold to the market. They may be tagged as raw, but they are not real raw.
They're not really raw.
They are not.
Okay.
They are pre-cooked. All right, and then yes, celery sticks and vegan walnut dip. So you may try that one if you require some snacking. But again, we discourage snacking because the digestive system has to rest for at least 4 hours before the next meal. What we have is 6 hours before the next meal. Okay, so this one is showing you how to prepare salads. If, for example, you have a green salad, you may choose base ingredients such as spinach, arugula, baby kale. And then you have secondary ingredients there, the white radish or cucumber. And then you have raisins or any dried fruits, and nutrient enhancers such as the herbs, cilantro, peppers, turmeric. And then the protein part would be the sunflower and pumpkin seeds. So in your salads, you may decide to have 3 parts of the base ingredients. The secondary parts will be ingredients will be 2 parts, and then 1 part for dried fruits, 1 part for the nutrient enhancers, and 1 part for the protein. Now, if you decide to do a salad on cruciferous, you can choose any of these, or again, whatever is available. And then if you may have tubers as your base ingredients, you may find turnips, jicama, or carrots as good base. Now, these are specifically designed, again, according to the need of the individual. But this would give you an idea that salads can be different types. Again, variety is important. And then if you prepare, for example, a dressing, you don't need to buy dressing from the grocery, because you can always prepare your own dressing. So you may use olive oil or avocado oil or avocado or coconut by itself if you don't have the oil. Then you need an emulsifier, either lemon, we have calamansi in the Philippines, or lime. You can make use of lime instead of using vinegar, okay? And you can have sweeteners such as dried fruits. You may have raw honey or agave. And then for the salt, so you can use any of those salts, and then you can use some herbs. So that you can just mix them together. You already have a healthier option for your dressing. All right, so I would like to leave you this one again, that we have just one borrowed life. Taking care of our bodies is a solemn responsibility and a personal commitment. Health is a choice. Let's choose to be healthy. And we honor the giver of life as we take good care of our bodies. So let's take it as a commitment to take good care of our bodies that we said that our bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit. And again, if you would like to contact me, please take a picture of my contact information, and we will communicate whatever would be your health goals. We can talk about it, and we can help you. We can guide you in getting to your health goal.